Hi everyone, welcome back to my channel. If you don't already know me, I'm Heather Ione. I am a blogger, YouTuber, wellness warrior, and drinker of massive amounts of chai. I live in St. Petersburg, Florida, and I create content all about self-help, health, and wellness. And I'm super excited because this is a brand new project of mine. I just started my YouTube channel this week, so it's like brand new, and there's so many ideas that I have for YouTube videos. But before I get into all of that, before I get into the questions that I get asked from people, before I get into the content that I originally came on YouTube to create, I wanted to create a video for my fellow dreamers out there. I wanted to create a video for the people like me who are pursuing a dream, who have goals, who have aspirations, but are scared to take the leap. Because 2 years ago is when I finally decided to pursue my dreams and do what really made me happy. So I left my full-time job to pursue blogging, YouTube content creation full-time. I'm also now a student at the Institute for Integrative Nutrition, so I've completely changed my path, and I'm no longer going down that corporate route that I thought I was going to go down my entire life. And I took this leap of faith and started to pursue my dreams, because 2 years ago is when I really realized that I wanted to do what made me happy in life. I didn't want to do what was going to make me money. I didn't want to do what was going to make other people happy. I had this realization when I was creeping up at the very end of my college experience that I was going to be joining the real world soon. I was going to be embarking on my own. I was going to be creating the life that I wanted, and I didn't want to just do what everyone else was doing. I didn't want to just do what I thought I was supposed to be doing. And up until that point, I spent 10 years telling myself that I wanted to do a YouTube channel, but I was too scared about what people were gonna think. I spent another 5 years telling myself that I wanted to be a blogger, but I didn't want to do it because I was scared of what other people would think. So finally, one day it just occurred to me that what is scarier to me is the thought of waking up someday when I'm 75 years old, coming to the end of my life and realizing, like, I never did what I wanted to do in life. I never did what would have really made me happy. And that thought scared me a million times more than the thought of what other people think. And since I realized that towards the very end of my college experience, I was like, fuck it. I started a blog. I'm now starting a YouTube channel. I quit my full-time job and went back to school studying what I actually care about. And since then, I've gotten a lot of mixed responses from people. But I wanted to create this video because I am hearing one comment that's really irking me, that I hear from a lot of people whenever I talk about how I went out and started to do what I felt like, when I actually started to pursue my dreams. And that is, oh my God, I could never do that. Oh my God, you have a blog? I could never have a blog. Oh my God, you have a YouTube channel? Oh my God, I always wanted to do that, but I could never have a YouTube channel. You traveled Europe? Oh my God, I always wanted to travel Europe, but I could never do that. And it's really frustrating to me because I am no one famous, right? I'm not a millionaire or anything. I don't have millions and millions of dollars to travel the world, but I went to Europe anyways. I don't have all of these, resources, and I don't have like an entire team of people behind me and a professional camera to do a YouTube channel. I don't have all of this knowledge about SEO. I'm just simply doing what makes me happy. And it's really sad to me how I'm just your average person over here, I'm just me. And when I tell people, like, yeah, I'm starting a blog, or I have a blog, or I have a YouTube channel, they're like, oh my God, I could never do that. And I think, why? Why do we keep saying this? And I know it can be so freaking scary to take the leap. So that's why I'm here today. to offer my 10 pieces of advice for anyone who has a dream, but they're holding themselves back because they're scared about what other people are gonna think. They're scared because they're insecure. They're worried people are gonna judge them. They think like everything has to be perfect before I can actually do that. And they're stuck in this life that isn't making them happy. So this is my 10 tips for anyone who has a dream, whether it's moving to Guam or writing a book or, I don't know, fill in the blank, quitting your job and becoming a stand-up comedian, whatever you want to do. These are my 10 tips for pursuing your dream. And it doesn't even have to be as far as a career. If you're just wanting to go on a trip, you know, like your dream was to travel Europe like I did. This is to inspire and motivate those people that are just holding themselves back and for whatever reason have convinced themselves, I could never do that. So without further ado, here are the tips. Because remember, we all have one shot in life, and there is nothing that terrifies me more than getting to the end of that life and realizing that I didn't do what actually makes me happy just because insert insecurity or random excuse here. Number one. So the very first thing that I would tell anybody who's wanting to pursue a dream is to expect it to get worse before it gets better. And I know that's probably not what you want to hear, but have you noticed that when you tell somebody like, oh, I want to travel Europe, I want to write a book, I want to do this, I want to do that, I want to get plastic surgery, I want to anything, all of a sudden anyone who you talk to freaks out and tells you, oh my God, don't do that, that's a terrible idea. And I've heard this from every single person that I've talked to about creating a YouTube channel, about creating a blog. People are going to lose their minds the moment that you step into your power and realize, like, you know what, I have one short life, I'm gonna do what makes me happy. People are gonna freak out. When they see that you're quitting your job and creating your own company, that's gonna scare the living hell out of them because A, people don't like change, and B, people are afraid of risk. So they're going to freak out and try to stop you. And it's also a reminder to them that they could do it too. You know, you're pursuing whatever it is or doing whatever it is that you want to do in your life. And they realize like, hey, I could do that. But it's a lot easier to shit on someone else's dream and tell them not to do it and spew your 2 cents about it than it is to get off your butt and actually pursue your dream or do what you actually want to do in life. So expect it to get worse. Expect awkwardness. Expect your family to be like throwing little passive-aggressive comments and concerned questions at you at Thanksgiving and family reunions like they're sprinkles, you know? Expect it to get worse. Expect there to be some judgment, some criticism at first, because that's just what people do. Number 2, after people initially lose their minds because you've decided to take the trip or do the thing that you wanted to do, they will eventually go back to living their own damn lives. And it will go back to normal. All of a sudden they will realize like, hey, that person going on vacation didn't really impact me. Oh, that person getting a boob job didn't actually change my life or affect me in any way. Or that person starting their own company didn't really affect me at all, you know? People are more concerned with themselves, so you may take a lot of hate and criticism for whatever it is you want to do at first, but eventually they'll go back to living their own lives. Here's one example. I remember I wanted to go to Europe, and that was my dream after graduation, was to travel Europe. And I found this tour company that I really wanted to go with, and for 6 months my family was just on me about it, and they told me all of the horrible things that were going to happen to me if I went to Europe, and how, you know, it was a bad idea that I was going. It also wasn't just family that said this, but everyone told me it was a bad idea. I was going. Someone on my tour group was gonna rape me or drug me, and I would get kidnapped and sold into sex trafficking, and I could get lost and never find my group again, and if I go, they'll never see me again, I'll never come back, I'm just going to stay there and like blow all of my money and never return to the States and wind up like homeless or something in Paris. I don't know. They all came up with these elaborate reasons as to why it was so scary, it was so dangerous, it was so risky, it was such a bad idea for me to go. So they had all convinced me that this was a horrible idea, and they made me so scared that I was just sick to my stomach about it for 6 months, even though I knew my dream was to travel Europe. And eventually, I just did it because I knew it was what was going to make me happy, and I didn't care whether or not anyone had any other comments about it. I didn't care about anyone's 2 cents. So I went on my trip, I came back, and all of a sudden everybody who gave me hate for going on this trip told me, oh my gosh, your Instagram pictures were beautiful. You look like you had so much fun. That looked amazing. You made so many friends. Or, oh, I love this thing that you posted. Oh my God, that looked so wonderful. I wish I could have gone. Did you have fun? It looked like you had fun. Like, everyone had amazing things to say, and they had all completely miraculously forgotten any of their doubts, any of their criticisms that they had before I went on this trip, and everyone just went back to their own life and then told me how wonderful it was that I got to go on this trip. So eventually people will realize like, hey, that doesn't really impact me. And it might be kind of scary at first. You might take a lot of crap for it, no matter what it is you want to do in your life. But eventually, it will just become normal again. It's kind of like when the president gets elected and like half the country like freaks out and is like super angry about who the president is. Okay, I hate Trump, but whatever. Everyone gets super angry at first and they realize like, oh, my day-to-day life didn't really change. And then they kind of just like stop caring. That's like what it is pursuing a dream. Number 3. Don't tell people your plans. Show them your plans. Keep it a secret. Whatever it is you want to do, maybe don't tell people, because that will get rid of that initial criticism, that hate, that the 2 cents that everyone has, that backlash when you tell people you're pursuing your dream. Maybe you just don't tell people. I've reached a point in my life where I know who is supportive of me in my dreams and my decisions, and I know who's not. And I know who I shouldn't tell things to, because they're just gonna get angry and make me upset and make me stressed out and suck the fun out of it, you know? Like, okay, here's an example. I was visiting a friend in Seattle, my best friend in Seattle, and there was going to be one day where he wasn't going to be able to hang out with me because he was going to be working. And I decided, you know what, one of my bucket list items was to go on a helicopter tour or a hot air balloon ride. And I decided, you know what, I'm going on this trip to see my best friend. I'm going to go do one of those things. And I had already decided this in advance, but if you know my mom, you know that she freaks out about everything. And I went on a biplane ride once, and she like convinced my little sister that I was gonna die and never come back, and it was rough. So anyways, she's kind of a fearful person, to put it nicely. And I knew if I told her it was gonna suck the fun out of it, she would tell me all the different ways I was gonna die and it was gonna explode and go down and what a horrible decision it was, and maybe try and punish me in some way, and she would suck the fun out of it. So I decided, you know what, I'm just gonna go on this trip, I'm gonna post my pictures of me in the helicopter ride, and then she'll just find out later. And that actually worked out great, because now if I want to do something that I know is really going to make me happy, I just do it and I don't tell anyone about it. And then I only tell the people that are supportive of me, because then I can avoid all the criticism and the nasty comments and the arguing and the fighting in the first place. And then we kind of just skip to that part where everyone's like, oh my God, Europe looked like it was so much fun, you know? Number 4, you don't have to have it all figured out. Before I started blogging, for the first 5 years when I was really dreaming of it, I thought I had to have everything figured out before I actually did it. I thought I had to know everything there was to know about SEO. I thought that I had to have a professional photographer to work with. I had to have amazing photos. I had to know the exact host site to do. I had to know everything about website design, and that never happened. And it would just leave me even more confused because there I was, like, trying to learn how to be a blogger without actually doing it, and I was just confusing myself more. I had convinced myself that it had to be perfect and that I had to know everything before I actually took the leap of faith. But here's the thing, you only learn by doing. When you want to pursue a dream, you can't just keep reading and taking courses and programs and this and that. You have to really throw yourself into it and just do it. Because the truth is, you will figure it out as you go. So you don't have to be completely prepared beforehand. You'll figure it out. You will get there. Trust me. And I did that again with YouTube too. I thought I had to have like the perfect camera, and I did like months and months and months of research for creating a YouTube channel since I've been like 14 years old. And I just never did it because I was like, oh, it's not perfect. I don't know how to create the perfect thumbnail. I don't know how to create the perfect banner. I don't know how to edit. I don't have the high quality camera. I don't have a DSLR. I can't do it. And I would just hold myself back. But the truth is, you really don't have to have everything figured out ahead of time. You don't. And you'll figure it out as you go. And you'll have fun along the way, and you'll be confused, and there'll be days where it sucks, but you will figure it out. So don't let not being extremely knowledgeable and like having the entire thing planned out stop you from doing what you actually want to do. Number 5, even if you're not a success, you will still have fun doing it. You will still be glad that even though you didn't reach like Jenna Kutcher status or Oprah status or whatever, whoever you're thinking that you want to be like, it doesn't mean that it wasn't worth it. It doesn't mean that it was a failure, because you'll be happy knowing that you at least did it. You at least tried. You're working at it. I mean, I am not some like Instagram famous influencer or anything. I'm not some like massive blogger. I'm just doing it because it makes me happy. And even though I'm not earning tons and tons of money from it, I'm doing it because it makes me happy. So I feel good, even though I'm not hitting like the certain number or the certain income or the certain goal, because at least I'm working at it, and it gives me a purpose every morning, and it makes me feel good, and it makes me happy to do this every single day. Number 6, know that everyone has insecurities. Before I started doing the things that I wanted to really do in my life, I felt like, oh, I can't do it because of this reason. I can't do it because of that reason. And I would point out these like flaws in myself. And I thought like I wasn't qualified, or I shouldn't be allowed to do what I wanted to do in life because of blank. Insert insecurity here, you know? And the thing is, we all have those insecurities. The most famous celebrities that you see, the people you admire, the most accomplished people, they all have insecurities. They're all, you know, vulnerable human beings that have that one thing that they really don't like about themselves. I mean, probably multiple things, you know? So don't let some random insecurity, whether it be about like your appearance or income or anything, don't let that stop you from pursuing a dream, because that didn't stop any of the other people, you know? And there's gonna be things that you don't like about yourself, but that doesn't mean that you can't pursue what you actually want to do in life. Number 7, I firmly believe that we all have a purpose. We all have something that we are meant to do on this earth in our short life. There's something that we're supposed to be doing. We're supposed to be fulfilling. And I really believe that if you have a dream that keeps you up at night, I mean, and it doesn't even have to be just like this massive dream, but it could be anything. If there's something that really just keeps you up at night and bothers you, and you fantasize about it when you're driving, and you think about it like multiple times a day, and you know, you create vision boards about it, you just find yourself always thinking about that thing and always wishing that you had it or you can do it. I really believe that you are meant to be doing it. Like, I have a friend who, she just wants nothing more in life than to be a stand-up comedian. And that's amazing. And I really believe that if she spent 15 years of her life dreaming of being a stand-up comedian, she's meant to do it. And you are too. Whatever it is that's like bothering you that you really, 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 really want to do, just do it. Because I really believe that there's a reason for that. There's a reason why that seed has been planted in your head and you think about it constantly. Number 8, stop talking about it, just do it. Because I have a lot of friends, I mean, I did this to myself. I'm no one to judge because I did it too, like my whole life. But I have a lot of friends who have come to me and told me like, oh my gosh, you have a blog? Oh, I would love to have a blog. I really want to start a blog. I want to start a blog. I'm thinking about starting a blog. And I would hear it from them every single time I would see them. Every time I would get coffee with them. Every time they would message me, I would hear about how they wanted to be a blogger. Or, I mean, that's just one example. But, I mean, there have been people I've heard them talk about something for 3, 4, 5 years, and they've never done it. And I know that there's a whole bunch of things that are probably keeping them back from doing it, but stop talking about it and just do it. Just take the leap of faith. Don't talk to people about it. Show them what you want to do. Number 9, do it daily. Honestly, I have been wanting to pursue certain things for a long time, and the only progress that I ever made was when I started doing it daily. When I started showing up every single day, whether I felt like it or not, and I just started doing it. And I am an extremely impatient person, but I realized that, you know, I want success and I want certain things to happen right away. I'm very, very impatient. Let me fix this. What is going on here? Success is not going to happen overnight. Overnight success happens in like 10 years. It's 10 years in the making of showing up every single day. You can't expect to pursue your dream, do what you want to do in life, and then immediately jump to the end and being successful and having everyone know who you are. It doesn't work like that. You have to work at it every single day. But it's nice because you feel like you're getting one step closer. You know, every day I wake up with like one little task that I want to complete, one project I want to work on, and I know that my dreams aren't going to happen right away, but it just takes working on them little by little by little, and eventually it all adds up. And I'm still amazed by how much I accomplish in just 1 week, in just 1 month. I'm able to see myself getting closer and closer and closer to doing the things that I want to do. And you'll get there too, and it might be like awkward and you might have super sucky days, but just work on it every day, little by little, and you will seriously amaze yourself at what you were able to accomplish. And number 10, you are going to get discouraged. There are going to be days when it sucks. There's going to be days when people say something to you that really irks you and irritates you. There's going to be days where you cannot figure something out for the life of you. There's going to be days when you're like, every single thing is going wrong. And honestly, that's all part of the process because some days just fucking suck. Sorry, excuse my French. It's true. Some days are gonna suck. There are some days where I'm like, you know what, maybe I should just give up and not even do. Maybe I should just go back to a 9-to-5 job and stop working at this because it's never gonna happen. And I get so caught up in the right now, like this one thing is not working right now. I don't feel good. I don't feel motivated right now, that it prevents me from seeing all the progress that I made and being happy and looking at the bigger picture. So there are days when it is going to absolutely suck and you're gonna maybe have some doubts. I don't want to say regrets, but you're maybe gonna have some doubts and be like, maybe I shouldn't even do this, but it's worth it. I promise you, it's freaking worth it. And I have to tell myself that on all of my bad days. And there are going to be bad days if you pursue a dream, but I promise you it's going to be okay. So these were my 10 tips for everyone who is trying to pursue their dream, to pursue anything that it is that they want to do that keeps them up at night. I hope it helped, but these are things that I have to remind myself of daily, so I'm sure that it would help someone else out too. Thank you for watching. Remember to subscribe to my YouTube channel below. You can also find me on my blog, www.lostonlineblog.com. I'll put that right here. And you can connect with me on Instagram. It's at heather.ione, I-O-N-E. And remember to follow me on Pinterest too, at Lost Online Blog, where I share inspirational quotes, beautiful travel photos, my blog posts, anything that just lifts you up and makes you feel better, because we all need some of that. Thanks for watching. I'll see you next time. Bye-bye.